You know that feeling when you pour everything you've got into a project? You're armed with all the best practices, years of experience, and then somewhere down the line you realize you've been chasing the wrong thing all along? Well, today we're diving deep into a story just like that. It's about an engineer's year-long quest to rebuild a massive search system, a project that completely shattered some of his most fundamental beliefs about software engineering.
So, right off the bat, the author, Sebastian Siegel, makes it super clear. This isn't some textbook theory. This is a story from the trenches, you know? It's from the front lines of software development, where things get messy, the stakes are high, and the lessons are learned the hard way. He's sharing his team's very specific journey, and honestly, that's where the best insights always come from. So just try to put yourself in his shoes for a second. You're a seasoned architect, you know your stuff, you're given this massive task, rebuild a core search product, and you come in with a solid playbook. But this project, it was different. Its complexity didn't just throw technical curveballs, it actively fought back against the conventional wisdom, forcing him to totally rethink his entire approach from the ground up. And what's so wild is that this entire year-long struggle can be summed up by a meme that, let's be honest, every single one of us has seen. You have the plan, which is a perfect straight line to the goal, but then there's the actual path, a tangled, chaotic mess called the detour. They started out with all these sound principles, got completely lost in a jungle of over-engineering, and then finally found their way back to a powerful kind of simplicity that was the real goal all along.
So, this whole journey of rediscovery is really built around 5 key assumptions that just had to be unlearned. We're going to walk through each one and think of them less as myths and more like, well, these really common traps that can easily lead even the sharpest teams down that long, tangled detour. Okay, so assumption number 1. This is the natural starting point for any engineer, right? You hear search, and your brain immediately jumps to architecture. How fast are the queries? Is the infrastructure resilient? It's all about designing this powerful, efficient machine. And look, that stuff is important, but it turns out it's not the whole story. Not even close. And here's the big reveal. The team discovered they were focusing on completely the wrong thing. The real breakthrough wasn't a better algorithm. It was realizing that great search isn't about the elegance of the machine. It's about what you feed it. It's a system that has to be molded by the messy, unpredictable, and just unbelievably valuable signals that real users are giving you every single day. This shift in thinking points to a whole new way of working. It means a simple model that's fed with fresh, high-quality user data is going to beat a super complex model running on stale information, like every single time. The key isn't to build a perfect system in a lab. It's about building the absolute shortest path for user behavior to feed back into and improve the system. That feedback loop, man, that's everything. All right, this next one, it just feels so right, doesn't it? That instinct to make every single component perfect before you ship. I mean, it comes from a good place, a desire for quality, a fear of breaking stuff in production. And in a complex system, it just seems like the only responsible way to build. But here's the catch. That hunt for perfection right out of the gate can absolutely crush your ability to learn. It turns out, in a system this complex, you often don't even know what correct really means until you're out there, getting punched in the face by real-world data and users. The new thinking is that the speed of learning, shipping, testing, and iterating fast is what actually leads you to a truly correct and robust solution in the end. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, instead of perfecting every little piece in isolation, you focus on getting a scrappy but working end-to-end version out the door as fast as you can. You use A/B testing not as some final checkoff, but as your main compass for figuring out what's real. And you only invest the heavy engineering time to refactor and bulletproof the code after an idea has already proven its value in the wild. Oh man, this third one is a trap that so many data-driven teams fall into. The team was tracking all the right technical metrics, things like NDCG, precision, recall, and on their dashboards, everything looked amazing. The graphs were all going up and to the right. By every technical measure, they were winning. And then they ran their first A/B tests. And reality hit hard. They quickly realized their shiny technical metrics weren't telling the whole story. An improvement in an offline metric didn't always mean a better user experience or better business outcomes. They had accidentally built a beautiful failure, a technically impressive solution that had zero positive impact. The real North Star, they learned, has to be business impact. Now, this shift in focus gave them an incredible tool for cutting through debates and setting priorities. The new rule was dead simple. Every engineering decision, every feature had to be tied directly to a measurable business outcome. This clarity helped them dodge that metrics rabbit hole and made sure they only shipped code that actually moved a key business number.
Okay, let's talk about the people. The fourth assumption was all about team structure. At first, they had that clean separation of duties you always see. Data scientists do models, back-end engineers build APIs, platform engineers manage infrastructure. It seems efficient, right? Everyone's an expert in their own lane?
But in practice, this just led to a bunch of silos. Each team was optimizing their little piece of the puzzle without really seeing the whole picture. The real speed came when they started to blur those lines, moving away from a relay race of handoffs and towards a real collaborative team with shared ownership of the whole problem.
And what they found was amazing. By empowering data scientists to run their own experiments, they could test ideas in hours instead of weeks. By giving backend engineers better data tools, everyone started speaking the same language. This didn't create chaos. It created this super fast, totally aligned team that could learn and adapt together at an incredible pace. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most fundamental assumption of all. It's that deep-seated belief that if you just build the most elegant, the most scalable, the most technically impressive system you can, success is just going to happen. And while technical excellence is absolutely critical to good engineering, it's a means to an end. It's not the end itself. Because at the end of the day, the key takeaway is this. The market doesn't reward you for beautiful code. It rewards you for solving a real problem for a real person. Adopting a product mindset means that every single technical decision is guided by asking, who are we building this for? What is their actual problem? And is this the most effective way to solve it? That is the only compass that consistently points to success. So after challenging these 5 core beliefs, the team didn't just end up with a rebuilt search system. No, they developed a whole new set of principles to guide their work, a brand new compass for navigating the complexity of building products that people actually want and need. And that's really the question for all of us, isn't it? How can we take these hard-won lessons and apply them? Because understanding their journey gives us a chance to navigate our own projects a little bit smarter and hopefully take a much more direct path to our own goals. It really all boils down to this powerful checklist. Number 1, focus on signals. That means obsessing over user behavior and building the plumbing to learn from it fast. 2, optimize for learning speed. Ship a working end-to-end system first, perfect the parts later, because reality is always your best teacher. 3, tie everything to business KPIs. Stop asking, is our model better? And start asking, does this model make us more money? 4, organize for synergy. Tear down the walls between roles and create one team that owns the whole problem. And finally, number 5, adopt a product mindset. Make sure every engineer understands the who and the why behind the what, turning them into partners in delivering value, not just shipping code. In the end, this whole story is just a powerful reminder of that idea from Einstein. The team didn't find these answers in a textbook or a blog post. They earned them through the messy, humbling, and invaluable process of building, failing, and learning in the real world. True knowledge, the kind that actually changes how you work, it only comes from experience.